Okay, so welcome back to TaraChessAcademy, and today we'll be going over this nice little puzzle here. And before every move, I'll give you 5 seconds or so to think and pause the video. So if you want to, of course, you can play these moves out on a board, so you can analyze all these lines. But I'll just go over them briefly. I'll go over some of these lines. Okay. So first, Black has just played rook c6, and it wouldn't be much of a puzzle if they didn't play that. So now, what do we do? I'll give you 5 seconds to pause the video. Okay, so the first move is bishop h6. And we force this bishop, the defender of the king, to just capture back. So they have to capture. And now, what do we do next? What's the point of bishop h6? I'll give you 5 more seconds to pause the video. So the point is to go queen h8. And if you said queen h6, yeah, you're right. If they go any other move than king e7, you win. If they go king g8, you go knight f6, and then you're going to win, right? Yeah. So, but after queen h6, they just go king e7, and black is perfectly fine. And you can see black is up materials here, so we have to take that into account for all of our next few moves, okay? I have to go queen h8, and now black is forced to go king e7. And now what's our next move? So I'll give you 5 more seconds, okay? Okay, so our move is knight f6. We don't want to trade anything like queen f6 or anything like that. So we're threatening queen e8, and this is a pretty big threat. So black plays bishop f4, and you might say, well, how does that stop queen e8? Well, if you go queen e8, we just go king f6, and you have no threats here. Okay? So the right move is g5. And we're guarding this knight, which was blocked by this bishop. Like, the protection of the rook for the knight was blocked. Like, if they played some random move like rook c2 or something, we just go queen e8. But now when they go bishop f4, this rook isn't protecting this knight here. But then we go g5, and you have no time to take because we're going to go queen e8. But it's not over. They go king e6. Now it's your move. So queen e8, king f5, and now I'll give you another 5 seconds if you haven't already found the move. So the move is queen f7, and we don't want to take this. Our queen is too far out of the action here to do anything. The king will go on and capture on this g5 square. And then you can see black is already up 2, so they're completely winning here. So this is not what white wants. So queen f7, and the threat is knight e4. Discovered check, and there's no real good reply to it. Like, say you go rook c2, well, we just go knight e4. If you go king e5, we go queen e7, you go king d5, you go knight f6, and you take, and then queen e4 mate. So this is like one of the lines here. So knight e4 is deadly, so you have to go rook c7. And now there's no time to go knight e4 because you just lose your queen. So now, well, you just have to take. Well, Okay, well, why can't I just go like something like knight d7? This looks reasonable because if they go, they don't have any other moves other than king g5. But after rook g1, they can take on g1, and they have a draw pretty easily here. So here we just have to take. You might say, what's the difference between the queen on c7 and c6? Well, here you can see earlier, if the queen goes to c6 now, well, then the king can come to g5, and there's no way for the queen to come back in. But now if we go through this line, we can see, well, okay, black still plays king g5. So what's our next move? Like, what's the difference between the queen on c7 and c6? And there's a pretty important difference here. So I'll give you like 5 seconds to pause your videos and think. So the right move is queen e7, and these lines with queen e7 and knight e4 are very, very threatening. And if your queen's on c6, there's no way you can get your queen back into the game. Like, say you take, and then they take, and then say you go queen g2, they just go king f6, okay? And say you go knight e4, well, here there's only one move for an advantage here. King h6. What? Well, why can't we just take this? Well, then they just go rook a1, and then you'll get checkmated on the back. Like king g2, queen g1, king f3, rook f1. And they can play some move like this. We can check, and you move, and it's checkmate. So this line doesn't work. And why don't the other lines work? Well, if we go king f5 first of all, then there's queen d7 or even queen c8. And if you move, we just check. If you move, we can take. And then if you go forward, of course, there's queen f2 mate. And if you go backward, queen f6, queen d6 is mate. So, okay, so we've proved why king f5 isn't a move. And all the other moves just lose. Like if you go king h4, well, they can go with a bunch of moves here, and then you just lose. So you just have to go king h6, and then you win because this queen can't really do anything here. But when we get it to c7, you'll see. So what's our move now? So if you find this move, it'll make a lot more sense. So I'll give you 5 more seconds to pause your videos. So the move is queen e7, and you can also go knight e4, but queen e7 is the move that white played, and it's a little bit better than knight e4. So black goes queen e3. So our threat, once again, is knight e4, and this is just devastating. If we go rook c2, knight e4, and then we win in all these lines with the queen coming in, like through the back, queen f8, and then we can take on f4, and this all works out for us. So you go queen g7, we just go queen f4. If you go g5, we go queen d6, and now if you go king h7, knight f6, and you can see how all these lines, they're just coming out to this checkmate. And you can see how if white doesn't play the right moves, like in the earlier moves, then they won't win. Like here you can see if you don't play g5, then you won't win. Like, all of these moves are pretty forcing. So king goes to e6, we take on f7, they go queen g5, we go queen e7, and now queen e3, okay. So now I'll give you 5 more seconds. This move is pretty obvious. I've already said it out loud. So now we just go knight e4. The king goes to h5. And now I'll give you 5 more seconds to find the forcing 2-move sequence that makes white have a winning position here. So the move is queen h7, and then black goes bishop h6. And if you found queen d7, well, congratulations to you. This move, you're going to go to g4, you protect h3, you do everything. So, like, if we go queen d7 immediately, saying, okay, I'm going to go to g4 anyways, if you take, then we have this h6 square, and we have nothing better than to just make a draw here with queen e7 or queen f6, and then perpetual. And then we force this bishop to h6, and we go queen d7, and once we go to g4, this king will have no moves. So let's say, okay, I'll move my bishop somewhere, and that's what black did. Black played bishop f4, which wasn't the best move, but say you go bishop g5, and I'll show you one line how this could end. Queen g4, king h6, and the important part here is you don't go rook g1, because then all other moves but queen f4 lose. And then if you trade into this isn't the best you can get here. Like, they'll go rook c2, they have these nice pawns here, and that's not really good enough for us. So here we have to go h4, and now we go rook g1, and there's no defense to g6, so you just have to take, and then you just lose if you just sacrifice your queen here. In the game, black went bishop f4, and then, like, shortly lost after knight f6. So here, you can see how this is a nice little puzzle here. And so, what was your favorite move? You can, like, think about this. Like, in the whole puzzle, my favorite move was probably queen d7, because you're making all these forcing moves, and then you just slide your queen over to d7, and there's no good way to defend against queen g4. So my favorite move was queen d7, and so this is like a nice little puzzle here. So if you like the video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on our next video. Bye!